The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care, and peace of mind through it all. Because Blue is here for you.
Welcome to the Made in Iowa podcast presented by Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield. I'm your host, Leisa Fox, and I got to sit down with Jerry Rosenberger from Kreg Tool as they introduce a whole new line of power products. You get to hear the thought process and all of the research that went behind this launch, and you get to see some of the products yourself. I hope you enjoy the conversation as much as I did. Jerry Rosenberger, Director of Product Management for Kreg Tool. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm seeing a lot of blue. Beautiful Kreg Tool blue. And I'm seeing way more products than when we last met. You are launching 3 new products this fall.
Yep.
And you had just launched, was that in January that you did your last launch?
We did a launch in April. Then our first launch was in October of last year, October of 2025. So.
And this whole new array of products or family of products is adjacent to other products that you have provided in the past, which are all sold to weekend warrior woodworkers, correct?
That's our main audience, but we do see our products, getting out in the hands of contractors, job site pros, things like that. You know, our traditional pocket hole jig, you'll see that on job sites with the
because
pros
it's
too.
easy.
It's easy to use. Drill drive done, and you're moving on to your next step. So
let's go back and talk about the impetus of the company, how it was founded. Craig Sommerfeld was an entrepreneur and an inventor, and he's the one that came out with your first product, which was the Kreg jig.
Yeah, the Kreg pocket hole jig. And really it was, he was building cabinets, and, the old way to just doing it is you were driving nails through your face frames, and then you'd have to come back and cover the nail holes and paint over it, but you'd still see them, right? And, like a lot of us, it was something that his wife didn't want to see the nail holes. So he came up with a way to do the hidden joinery, right? Which was the pocket hole jig.
And had it ever been done before?
People had done it, but it wasn't
commercialized,
predictable, repeatable. People do it with a drill and you can kind of get off. And, he brought it down to where it was, a precision machine product, and it was very duplicatable and took all the guesswork out of it, right?
Awesome. All right. That was your first product. And then you evolved. Where did you go from the pocket jig?
Well, we have tons of different pocket hole jigs. We have anywhere pocket hole jigs for $20 all the way up to non-powered versions up to $150. And then we've had powered versions. We have $15,000 corded industrial pocket hole machines that cabinet shops have. They drill 5 pocket holes at a time.
Oh my gosh.
We've been selling those since 2003, right? So we make industrial machines. If we talk about Craig's getting new into power tools, we've been building power tools since 2003, right? And we've been building corded consumer durable power tools since 2013. So we've had power tools out on the market.
Okay.
And, the cordless power tools is new to us, but it's not like we're new to the market in terms of power tools and things like that.
And I have yet to meet a company that is more in tuned to their customer base and reactive to those needs. You saw this coming. You saw the need for the powerless or the cordless equipment. And how long has this suite of products been in the works?
Well, we had a corded track saw. We launched it in 2019. We had a lot of customers call us and ask us, "Hey, would you make this cordless?" And we're like, "No, not for one product. That doesn't really make sense." But if you look at it from a roadmap perspective, there were 2 other big tools we were working on: the Kreg Rebel powered pocket hole joiner, which is up here. We launched that back in October. And then what's coming this fall, which is going to be pretty I would say, disruptive in the woodworking market, is our new Kreg Edge, which is a loose tenon joiner. We had those coming. We did a lot of research with both the Rebel and the Edge. And a lot of our customers were wanting to be able to take it to their job site. We know a lot of our customers, some of them have dedicated shops. That's a completely different thing. But a lot of us use shared spaces, garage spaces and or basement if you have them, and or go outside and set up a shop out in their driveway. And a lot of the feedback we get is, I want cordless because I don't want to have to haul cords around, walk on the cords, because I'm setting up temporary shops. I want to be able to take something off the shelf, use it, and then put it back on the shelf or in your storage container or wherever you use it at, right? So we knew that there is going to be a push for cordless. Plus, we have retail data that shows we're seeing the decline of cordless tools. And I'm not saying people aren't still buying corded. Some people prefer corded, especially if, again, dedicated workshops, things like that. But corded products are dying, and the performance of cordless is getting to be to where on par with corded.
Wow.
So yeah, the technology's there, and it's getting better every day. And I'm not saying cordless is going to die, but it is definitely going to become less part of the market. So.
And the more reliable and consistent the power packs can be, the more they're going to use them. Let's go back to your decision to get into the power pack market. Where did you start with your market research? How do you even begin that process?
Yeah, so there was a core group of us, and we didn't advertise it throughout the organization because it was one of those things where you don't want to go get we didn't know what we didn't know, right? So we're going to go do the work, try to understand what it's going to take to launch a battery platform.
Okay.
Because, doing it is the easy part. It's the doing it right and getting the customers to adopt it. What's your brand position going to be in the market? Because it is a saturated market, so to speak, right?
Okay.
There's players everywhere. Where are we going to sell our products at? Where are we going to choose not to sell our products at?
Yep.
And we did a lot of the understanding of what would we need to do? How long is it going to take? How much money is it going to cost?
How many people on that core team?
There's about 5 of us.
No kidding. Mm-hmm. And what did that look like? Did you go find the products in the marketplace, use them?
Well, initially, yes, we benchmarked a couple companies. We went out and used them, and then we did some teardowns. We did some should costs, and we had some companies help us with that too, some third-party test and design firms. We looked at it from what does this look like, 1 to 3, 5 to 6, up to 10 years? Because this is a long-term strategy play for us, right? To get into a battery platform, and you've got to get people to adopt the platform. We want to make sure we get batteries, one, that are available to our consumers, and we give a lot of them away, or price them to a point where it's basically like giving them away.
Okay.
So like when we kit batteries with some of our specialty woodworking tools, we'll put a couple $100 value in there for like $50 over our bare tool. And then a lot of times we'll just run it on sale at the same price as our bare tool because we want those batteries to get into our consumers' hands. So we took a lot of research on how many battery platforms does the average user have? What's the adoption rate look like? And, a lot of surprising information came out of that. We always hear that, I don't want to get into another battery platform. But we looked at the average user, and between outdoor tools and indoor tools. So you could have Ryobi, like drills and saws, and you can have Ryobi outdoor tools. And they're completely separate battery platforms in some cases.
Really?
Yeah. So Ryobi will have it. I think it's 40 volt, and then they have the 18 volt. They do have outdoor tools off the 18 volt platform, but to get the power, like the lawnmowers and some of that other stuff, you still have to adopt another battery platform to do that.
Wow.
Milwaukee's got 2 with an M12 and the M18. DeWalt has the flex packs, but there's some things there. Makita has everybody has 2 battery platforms within their own family.
My gosh.
So when you look at it from a consumer research perspective, right now the average household that has a battery platform has anywhere from 2 to 3. And then some of the people that are more down the path in terms of been in them for a while can have up to 5 or 6 battery platforms within there.
So I'm picturing the wall with all the chargers and all the batteries hanging and trying to keep those straight.
Which is my wall, by the
way. That's another thing I want to talk about is the company's passion for woodworking. And we talked about this the last time. What percentage of your team is passionate about woodworking?
It's a good chunk of us. Now, it's not a prereq to work for Kreg, right? Because we want people in there, anywhere from people, because having the different skill sets within the company helps us internally to develop products too. Because you get down that you can't unlearn what you've already learned path. So once something is obvious to you, then I think we overlook it a lot. So having the people but I don't understand that. How does this work? Or what are you doing there?
The beginners.
Then that's helpful for us to make sure, because our mission is to make things approachable and fun. Approachability is huge for us. Approachability can mean a lot of different things. So ease of use, price points, things like that. But we do have expert woodworkers, right? The engineer that helped develop this edge, there's a competitive product that's been on the market that nobody's came out with anything like it. And it's a company called Festool. They make great products. Theirs is the Domino. He's a Domino super user.
And this is made out of Germany, right?
Yep.
Precision manufacturing.
I'm not 100% sure if it's made in Germany. I'd have to go back and look at that, but it's definitely designed in Germany. But we told him, we're like, what do you like about it and what don't you like about it? He's like, I changed this, this, and this. And it's like, great. Well, you're gonna work on the project then, because now you have the opportunity to change all those things and make it yours.
For an end user too, right? That's actually going to be using the product. And I watched a video. Even the handle and the sturdiness and steadiness of that handle, you put a lot of thought and process into.
Yeah, just the overall design of that. That is something that we had to design from the ground up. Yes, we did benchmark the incumbent that's on the market, which is the Festool Domino. The difference is, their product retails for about $1,500. We're trying to we tried to, and we got it to. We're going to launch it at about $500.
My gosh.
With a battery and charger.
My gosh.
So you're all in for $500.
$1,000 saving for the same.
Yeah, and we benchmarked the hole size, perpendicularity, depth, consistency, use. Because if you're not precise with that hole you're drilling, your joint can get off and can get loose. It's a bad customer experience if you don't do it right. So we spend a lot of time and effort trying to get that as precise as the competitors that are out, the competitor that's out on the market.
And it's super portable, right? That's what makes it so marketable.
So the idea on this one is, the difference is, and I'll split it apart to kind of show everybody, but the Festool Domino that's out on the market, like I said, is a great product. You have to hook it up to a dust collection, because the mechanism behind here, where this is basically a router bit. So this spins at about 18,500 RPM, but it also oscillates at the same time.
Jeez.
The way they have that captured in there to make the hole that they need to make has to be hooked up to dust collection to keep the chips clear. If you run it without dust collection, it'll bog up and it will smoke. It can hurt. It can absolutely damage the bit, but can also damage the tool. So they tell you to have to hook it up to a dust extractor, which they sell. I think they're dust extractors. You can get into them for $700, and then sky's the limit. You can go to $1,000, $1,200 for their dust collectors. We know our customers don't have dust extractors. They may have a vacuum, a shop vac, but a shop vac doesn't easily hook up to a lot of tools because most of them are 4-inch holes, or 4-inch hoses. And we know our customers, like I said, shared spaces, or you're outside, now you're having to haul out shop vacs, dust collectors, get converters and hook them up here. So we wanted to make sure that, it'll work without a dust collector. That was big to us.
Okay.
So we built that in. The base has the holes here, dust relief. Even if you have these plugged, there's enough space back here where it will actually come out the back. Now, you may have to take your tool and shake it off and get the dust out of it. It's no different than a pocket hole jig we make or anything like that. So that was important to us to be able to do that. You can hook it up to a dust extractor. It works great. Because of those holes, it actually pulls more air. You get more airflow through there, and it works great. So, just other small things we do. We have a wrench on board, and onboard tool storage is big for us, because the first thing we always do is lose all the parts that come loose in the box. That's what I do. Like, even our angle grinder, we put even though it's toolless, has a toolless, I'm escaping the words for it now, but how you hook the blades into it. You don't need the wrench. We still store the wrench in the handle, so you don't lose it, because I've lost all my wrenches to all my angle grind.
Right.
It's just the way it goes. And when you come about the development of this, it's really two things. You're developing this and you're developing this at the same time.
Okay.
And we put a lot of effort into making this piece as good as the competitors that are out on the market, which is the Festool Domino. We spent a lot of time making this as usable and as easy to use as possible for our consumers.
Got it.
We have micro adjustment on the fence, but if you look at the fence size, how long it is, we know almost all the people that pick this up, that buy this, will be the first time they're ever drilling a loose tenon hole, also known as a domino for Festool. We wanted to make this as stable and as easy to use and as easy to set up as possible for them, just to get them comfortable using it, because there is a nuance to it. You have to hold it pretty steady, because if you torque it, the hole gets a little loose on it. And that's the same with the Festool Domino. You just got to be careful what you're doing. Take your time within reason, right? It's still pretty quick, pretty quick process overall. But having the ability to do that, that's a big advantage for us, to make sure that our customers just able to pick it up and use it. A very short learning curve to be able to produce their products.
And a couple of these aren't truly woodworking products. They're woodworking adjacent products, right?
We do have some that are DIY adjacent or doer adjacent, as we call it. People that do wood projects, we know they like working with their hands. A lot of those things are just fixing stuff around the house. So we make impact wrenches, because we know those people are going to, take their lawnmower, pop the blade off, sharpen their blade, put it back on, may pop a tire off of a car, maybe do some auto work, things like that. Maybe building larger structural items that need, they'll need impact wrenches for that. But all our tools, why we do focus on the woodworkers, we absolutely know, expect, and want our customers to be able to take those outside of that woodworking space, use, abuse, and have them perform, right? So they're all tested to that. That's a big part of our product development process when we bring these tools to market. There's things we build into these, but we know that we want people to go out and use them outside of woodworking, right? Because I don't want to have a platform dedicated to woodworking and then go buy another battery platform because I want to do X, Y, and Z outside of the woodworking shop. They have to be able to cover the full gamut for everybody.
Talk about the educational training that you provide to your users. So you're putting patterns out there and projects. Talk about that community and how you keep that fresh and keep your folks tuned into it.
Yeah, so we have a large influencer community. If you go out, we'll partner with our influencer network, and they'll build a lot of projects. And they'll obviously use our tools, but they'll have projects available. If you go to our website, there's a big learn content part of our website. And that could be anywhere from like, hey, how do I use a pocket hole jig? I'm new to this, to our guided cutting, to some cabinet tricks, tips and tricks, to other tips and tricks, whether it even has anything to do with our tools or not. We'll put one out there to do that. And if you go to our projects page, we have over 1,000 free projects on our website that we organize from anywhere from beginner, intermediate to expert level.
So it could be as simple as a bookcase.
Yep.
And as complex as what? What are some of the more complex projects?
We have large tables on there, more harder joint methods, harder, large, huge projects, things like that, full furniture projects.
Wow.
All of those things, right? And our customer service team's kind of set up for that too. So if you call sometimes we have people call our customer service and ask, how do I do this questions? And we have a chat function on our website that if you chat, you reach a human being. We don't have bots. The guy who runs, his name's Billy, great guy. You get into that text chat, you're reaching out to Billy. So it's just one of those things where we want to make sure we stay connected to our customers, and that helps us learn too, right? To be able to reach out and help and get people started and moving along in their woodworking journey.
So you talked about your influencers, and you recently had one of your famous influencers at Kreg Tool and Ankeny. Mm-hmm. Talk about his experience. First, what's his name?
His name's Matt Outlaw, and his channel's 731 Woodwork. So I encourage people to go out and look. He does a lot of tool reviews. He's based out of Arkansas. So he came up, him and his wife, and he does a lot of videos, but they also do live events every Tuesday night that people come in. They have a pretty good community. He came in about 2 weeks ago, and we took him on a facility tour. We showed him the new fall products we're launching. Plus, we gave him a sneak peek to what's coming in 2027 and got his feedback, too, because that's part of like the voice of customer and customer connectedness is, hey, what do you think of this? What would you change? He's probably got his hands on more tools than a lot of us do because that's what he does, right? So he does a live event every Tuesday night. So was it this week or the week before? And I'd have to get the exact date on that. But if you go and look, he talks about his trip to Kreg and the facilities, talks about our customer connectedness. He talks about, employees and how we really, really care about our customers. And that's big for us because, our mission is, we talk about affordability and fun. But, if you look at it from what is our purpose, and it's really connecting those head, heart, and hands into building projects and getting people going down the woodworking journey.
Hi, everyone. I'm Business Record Editor Sarah Dean. I just wanted to pop in here quick before we get back to Lisa's great conversation with this week's guest to take a moment and share about our virtual manufacturing forecast event coming up on August 6th at noon. This year, we're sharing Iowa manufacturers' stories of adaptation. As Lisa has learned through her conversations on the Made in Iowa podcast, a successful future in the manufacturing sector depends on being willing and able to adapt. She'll be moderating this event, interviewing leaders about their lessons and results from adaptation, and we'll also look ahead at expectations for the manufacturing economy in the next year. We hope you join us. You can register by visiting businessrecord.com/events or by visiting the link in the description.
One of the terms that I loved that you've used consistently is affordability without compromise. That's hard.
Yep.
How did you go about, because there is a lot of metal on these products. They're heavy. They're in no way, shape, or form cheap. They are very durable, nice products that you could probably have charged a lot more for.
Yep.
How did you make those decisions as you were walking through this process?
Well, we looked at it from what is our brand and what do we want to be, right? What do we want to be for our customers? And it all comes back to the product development process that we went through. And when we started developing the projects, we put teams together. We did usability. We went in and we built projects with competitive tool sets. And we said, hey, here's what we like and here's what we don't like. We also worked with a firm out of Europe. It's got over 25 years of power tool experience. They helped us with testing, durability, tear downs, life testing, load testing, all of those things. We tore down the competitive units, we tested them out, kind of honed in on all of that. And we took our usability feedback and then the testing feedback and durability, and we kind of sat down and went through and did specifications. So couple things we looked at was if you go out and we were benchmarking and putting comps together, and I think DeWalt had 63 some drill combinations that are out there. They have, up to 5 or 6 different products. It gets super, we couldn't even, they had 3 different sub-brands with under their batteries. And Milwaukee's the same, and they're all kind of that way. So we really took a look at it on how do we make it easy for our consumers to understand. So we put some hard lines in the sand on what we're going to do. We're going to make one of something, and it's going to be the best one that we can possibly make at an affordable price. And it's the affordability without compromise. So we talk about the edge, and we're going to take that next best alternative on the market, which is a Festool Domino at $1,500. We're going to charge $500 for it, and it will perform as good as that product.
It's crazy.
So we take that philosophy with all of our products. And, you look at it from a feature set standpoint, it's not just specs, but it's the fit, the feel, the finish, the durability, and the life, right? So all metal housings, all metal gears, if as high, if not higher, performance specifications than really what we looked at was DeWalt and Milwaukee. Some things DeWalt make better, what we feel is the best within the market comps, and sometimes it's Milwaukee. Obviously, they don't make a domino equivalent, or what we call the edge. So we had to obviously benchmark a different consumer there, or a different company there, which we will do from time to time. But we really look at it through that lens, and then how do we be able to do that? And really, what we're targeting is we can be anywhere from $50 to $150 less expensive with the same level of performance, durability, and features. So we're very feature rich at our price point, very good performance at our price point, and then from a durability standpoint, lots of metal, like we talked about, all of that. And we look at it like, we're a smaller company. We're privately held. We're an ESOP. So
you're all invested.
Yeah, we're all invested
every part
into
of the
it.
process.
That's a little bit different than the other companies, and they have their good, better, best brands, whether that's TTI or Stanley Black & Decker. We're laser focused on Kreg. And we're going to do the best that we possibly can under that Kreg brand. So we have one brand to support, and we're going to do the best we can to support it. And that's how we're really able to do that. And then again, it's like people are like, are you a value brand? Or are you this? Are you DIY? Or are you pro? It's like, no, we're for the doers. And that's who we target, are the people that are out there doing the work, making things. And that's really what we focus on. You see a lot of our messaging out there focused on that. But we want to make sure that they get the best possible products they can for those price points.
And having one option doesn't dilute the company. Like, your efforts are all going towards, so you've got the saw. I want to really look at that saw and talk to me about how that performs against like a Sawzall.
Yeah, so Sawzall, like if you go out, Sawzall's a trademarked brand name for Milwaukee, and they really invented this. So they are the gold standard of what's in the product market. So when we were developing this, and I mentioned earlier that battery technology is getting to the point where it's as good as corded, right? So they came out with a product called the Super Sawzall, which is their premium Sawzall. And I think they have 4 or 5 different battery-powered Sawzall within their portfolio. So that's the one we benchmark, because we know that our consumers are, a lot of people will take slabs, right? And they're thick and they're long and they're hardwoods, whether it's walnut, oak, whatnot. We know people are a lot of them will cut them up into more manageable sizes with Sawzalls, because that's the easiest way to get them chunked down. Because you have different blade varieties, lengths, and all of that on it. When we went out and benchmarked all the competition, we were very underwhelmed with what was put out there in terms of a Sawzall. So the one we felt was acceptable was that Super Sawzall out on the market.
My gosh, and which was the gold standard.
It's the gold standard, and they claim it is as good as a 15 amp corded Sawzall. So we benchmarked it, and we kept making iterations until we got it to the point where it was not stalling out in slabs. We even make the claim that you can take this, and no matter how hard you push, you cannot get the blade to stop.
Because that's what happens. The motor gets overwhelmed.
You run too much torque to it, and it'll stop. Now, you do need a 4 amp hour battery or bigger to make it work.
Okay.
But with it, people have accepted that challenge and tried. We haven't got anybody to stop. Now, I'm not saying it'll be impossible, but we haven't got anybody to do it yet. So if you look at it from a performance level, the difference is a bare tool. So this is where we get into we're not going to have this and then come out with a smaller recip saw and then another smaller recip saw and charge a premium for this and then step down. That's not what we're going to do. So the Super Sawzall is on the market for $299 for the bare tool. Ours will be $139.
Holy buckets.
And the one other feature that we put in here is we put so much power into it that when you ran it, you couldn't hold on to it because it was just vibrating so much. So we had to go back and design a counterbalance back in here. So when it strokes, it hits that counterbalance. So it's actually, I would say, one of, if not the most powerful Sawzalls and the smoothest on the market when we launch it this fall. So we're excited about this. All of our tools, that's the design process we go through when we go out and do this. Like this drill right here is one of the highest speed drills out on the market today. Speed's important for woodworkers because you're drilling holes with it. You get the cleanest pocket holes using that drill. But oh, by the way, it has a hammer functionality. That's probably the fastest hammer drill on the market now.
Okay, what's a hammer drill?
Drilling through concrete or block.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Because
that drill will drill through concrete.
Yeah, absolutely. You just hit the hammer button on it. It's not any different than what's out on the market, but that is a hammer drill. But there's this hammer icon here, and it does this thing called BPM or beats per minute, where when you press it up against something, it will hammer it while it spins. So at 2,500 RPMs, if you have the boost on, it will burn through concrete really fast. I mean, it is probably one of the fastest hammer drills on the market today.
How cool is that?
What's that?
And which battery do you need for that
That's
one?
a 4 amp. You need a 4 amp or better.
4 amp.
They'll work with 2 amp. You just won't get the amp pull from them, and they're optimized at 4 or bigger.
And you've got 2 battery options.
We have 4 battery options.
Okay, talk about those.
So we have a 2 amp hour battery. So behind you, like on our impact, smaller tools like that, 2 amps great.
So that's that guy.
Yep. And then we'll have a 4 amp, which is here. And then we have a 6 amp and an 8 amp, which is the larger one up there.
Okay. So they can use any of this
They're
equipment.
all backwards compatible with any Kreg cordless tool. You can put them on there, move them around. We're not going to change that going forward. What we will change is the battery technology inside. As that gets better, we're never going to lead the market in battery technology, but we'll absolutely be a fast follower. We're going to have tabless batteries coming out next year.
What does that mean?
You get more amp draw out of them. It's a newer technology. A lot of companies are starting to come out with them. It's becoming available for more people. So you just get better amp draw, but you get more power out of it. Gives you a little bit of flexibility to get into some other products as we go forward. In the
Jerry,
market.
how excited are you for the future of Kreg?
I'm really excited. When we talk about power, I better just put this down here. When we talk about the power tools, and we talked about getting into it, and we built out the plan for power tools, we didn't want to just launch some power tools and stop. So now that we're into the platform and we're committed, we have a commitment, and we talk about October of last year was the first launch. Then we had one in April. We're having one in the fall. We're going to have one in the spring of 27 and one in the fall of 27.
My gosh.
So our commitment is minimum 8 to 10 new cordless power tools a year going forward. Because once you're into it, you got to keep innovating, allowing your customers, once you get in the platform, to grow with you.
Wow.
Having the Edge come out and the usability of the Edge, we think that's going to be big. It's only going to, in terms of, just it comes with a 4 amp hour battery for $50 more than the bare tool. We hope people buy that, and then the other products are available. They can grow with us, right?
Yep.
Get into some of that stuff. And even if they have other tasks to be had outside of woodworking, we'll have tools for them to do that too.
Talk about the excitement of that. You announced it.
We announced it on May 19th. We had a live event, which is pretty early normally for us, right? A couple reasons for that is, again, this has been out on the market. We did a lot of research on this, and we people that like the Domino from Festool at $1,500, the people that have bought into that love it. It's a great product, like I said. But there's still a lot of people out there that are just not going to justify a $1,500 investment because they don't do it for a living, right? If you look at our customers, and for $1,500, you can put a pretty good garage shop or a small shop together for that kind of money. So that's why we could have came out with this and charged $800 and sold a bunch of them too, right?
Yep.
That's not our goal when we launch products like this. Is we want to make it affordable and approachable. And even not joinery that's not pocket hole joinery is new to us. We launched a dowel jig last year and a manual operated version of this. So you had to have a drill. It was a little bit slower, but it worked. It worked great. We had one of those out, and that was kind of our first forte of joining outside of pocket hole joinery. And we know pocket hole joinery, it's fast. It's the fastest way to join wood, right?
Yep.
But it's not the end-all be-all for all applications. So, we came out with our Rebel-powered pocket hole joiner, and that's been very successful. So it's the fastest pocket hole machine on the market. But we know that there's projects where you'll use that, and you'll use a hidden joinery solution like this. Just because that's fast, and there's when you don't see it. But then when it's critical for hidden joinery, we know that these both will coexist in the market. So we're really excited.
And the social media response to that has been crazy town, hasn't it?
Yeah. So everybody's got those clickbait titles on there, and it's all Festool killer, or Domino killer, and all that. So it's that's really not
your goal, but
that's not our intention.
You'll take the impact that has, right?
Well, if we
sales.
get views and sales, and that's fine like that.
Yeah.
But we don't anticipate people trading their dominoes in to come get this. We just want to make that solution more approachable for the masses that are out there.
Talk about the impact that this new product launch has had on your workforce, from an excitement, a culture, What does the future look like? How do they feel about it?
Yeah, I think it was really, really exciting because we still have our foundational. I want to make it clear, like we still have our foundational non-powered products, right? And that's what built the company. So we have pocket holes, we have guided cutting, we have cabinet hardware solutions, other router tape, other solutions like that, right? We're going to continue to invest and grow that, right? We're going to, we keep doing that. This is like a step change beyond that, right? And it gets us into more options in terms of specialty power tools. You can never get into this without power tools, but we know the solution was a big hole in the market that we wanted to make sure that we were in to fill and help the consumers out. So being able to do that, I think there's a lot of excitement within the company, knowing that we're going to take what built us as a company and continue to expand that and continue to invest in that and then level that up. So all our power tools, while we don't want to lock you into our system. We want to make sure that it's available. We want to meet our customers on their journey. And we're really investing in making sure our tools work with our core foundational ecosystem. So we talk about high speeds on drill. Well, that's perfect for pocket hole joinery. If you already have a pocket hole joiner and you don't want to buy a powered one, great. Come get the drill. You can use that. It'll be fine. But it'll give you the best experience you possibly have for that. Track saw. We have tracks coming out. We've had a track saw on the market since 2019. We're actually refreshing that again this fall.
My gosh.
So we make those tracks more common in the industry. So if somebody already has like a Festool, a Milwaukee, a Makita, or a Metabo saw, it'll work with our tracks. Our saws will work with their tracks. So we have a table, like what we call our ACS adaptive cutting system table, which really does a lot of things that a table saw does, except it's a little bit easier to use, a little more comfortable to use. Table saws can be a little bit scary sometimes, depending on how much experience you have around them and what you have. But now we open that up to other people that they don't have to buy into our ecosystem. We had a AccuCut product that if you owned a circular saw, you could hook it to this track and turn your circular saw into a track saw. But if you wanted to buy our track saw, you had to take the track you already purchased and get rid of it. Well, since we're commonizing all those tracks, you can go out and buy a track saw and use your AccuCut as a track for your track saw. So that's what we're trying to do. And we're expanding our router ecosystem. So we're coming out with all new routers. We have corded trim, AC trim, 2.25 horsepower plunge router. We have a big 3.25 horsepower corded router for our professional router table and router table lift system. So we're really trying to build out the ecosystems. And that's what's getting everybody excited within the company.
How do you begin to predict adoption of these tools and the amount of product you're going to need to feed this market?
I think the first 3 phases is pretty easy, right?
Okay.
And it really ties into what we do. Where we build going forward is really going to depend on where our customers want to go and our retail channel partners. Like we'll go as far as our customers will let us.
Okay.
Everybody asks, are you coming out with trimmers? It's like, no, but maybe one day. You never know, right? So you never say never on some of that stuff.
Go where they take you.
And we want that feedback from our customers. We want that feedback from our retailers. We poll people that have bought. What's your next purchase? That's helping us determine where to go in our portfolio. We like that feedback from our retail channel partners. What are your customers hearing? What do they want to see from us? We'll put that in our portfolio and our roadmap. In terms of batteries, we try to make our batteries as affordable as possible. So if you go to our retail channel partners that have picked up our program, so there's some national accounts out there. Rockler has our program, Woodcraft has our program, and then there's some independent dealers that have it too. And we're continuing to grow in that too, by the way. Awesome. We run a lot of the way this is set up. You should be able to walk into those stores and get a free battery or a free starter kit, which is a battery and a charger with these tools.
Wow.
So last quarter, and we run NLPs on our bare tools.
What's an NLP?
New low price, sorry.
Okay.
So right now at the time of this recording, our Rebel, we have a bare tool that's $299, which means it just comes there, no batteries, no chargers. We have a Rebel kit that's $349 that has a battery and a charger in it. Well, right now it's on sale that the kit comes at $299. So we're basically giving the battery and charger away for free. And we'll do that. I think last quarter we had our opening price point drill. It retails for $99 bare tool, and I think we had it at $84.99. And
it's brilliant because once they've got the battery and the charger, they can just get other products.
We want to get that down. So you should have been able to walk into our retailers and bought a drill and got for $85 and got either a free battery or a free battery and charger with it for $85. And we continue to price promote that and give those batteries and or starter kits to our retail channel partners to get people in. We want to make sure we lower that barrier of entry for them. And we stand behind our products. They got a 3-year warranty. We have best-in-class customer service.
Wow.
So we don't want people to worry about if I buy this or anything like that. We stand behind our products. We'll continue to stand behind our products.
And they are Iowa products, which is just amazing. I want to end by saying I will be the proud owner of this guy. So he brings this in, and I was like, what is that? It's a shop vac. For the love of Peter, it's got a 7-foot hose. And how long does the battery life on
it? Depends.
this?
There's 2 speeds on it. So there's a low speed, high speed. It depends what battery you put on it. A lot of people, we have that nozzle developed so you can hook it right into our tools. And it has an O-ring on it so you don't have to, because we always just electrical tape our stuff on there. That'll actually interference fit. It's not hard to get it apart, but it won't just come off, right? So it's all the little things like that. High 50 CFM, we have lights up here.
And again, they looked at their best-in-class competition and said, how do we make it better? And you've got a best-in-class shop vac that actually will reverse, too. I can blow up my pool floaty.
Yep, it comes with a nozzle set. You switch the hose around. You can blow up an air mattress, your pool toys, whatever you want. You can hook it up that way. And do
my husband will be receiving one of these very, very soon, and so will my dad. And, of course, I get to use them, so that will be awesome. Anything else that I have not asked you that you want to talk about?
No, and I think that the big key thing on here is, it's funny when we enter the power tool space, we hear a lot of comments about who's making our products for them. And these are just white labeled and things like that. And they're absolutely not. They're 100% specified and designed. Here in Iowa by our team at our facilities.
Awesome.
We do work with a third-party design and test firm, but we've been with them for years.
Right.
We've done a lot of different projects.
And you're going to the best in the world at doing that, right?
Yeah, and we don't have one supplier. They're 100. We own the tooling. We own the specifications. We have supplier agreements. You will not find these like tools on the market from other manufacturers or sub-manufacturers. Like, we get a lot of questions on the edge. Oh, how long is it going to take before somebody else comes out with it or anything like that? We designed that. We took patents out on this, on some of the improvements we've made.
Awesome.
So, everybody's like, oh, Milwaukee's going to come out with one on DeWalt and Bosch, Makita. Maybe. But if they're not working on it, they're probably 2 years out. So,
wow.
And it's not a small feat to bring something like this to market. Even though there was a standard that's out on the market, to meet that standard, it's going to take a lot of time. There's a lot of learning curves you have to go over. So, we're excited really about this edge and our portfolio and the expansion. We have really exciting products coming in 2027 too.
Well, you'll have to come back and talk about those. You've got a permanent seat here to announce your products with our audience. What my hope is for the audience is, if you have had a desire at all to get into woodworking and want to take your first step, I would say find them on the socials, start following them, and find that one easy project that you want to create. And you guys will just walk them through that first.
Yeah, and we have we always have said, if you have a drill and a circular saw, we can get you started in woodworking. We have accessories that are, like I said, we have pocket hole jigs that are out there. I mean, they drill one hole at a time, and that's fine. For about $20.
Wow.
We have guided cutting products for about $50 that help you cut sheet goods down and get your boards lined up a lot easier. It really starts you down that path. And, if you look at it from where we're expanding to, we want to get you started, but we also want to meet you at the end and everybody everywhere in the middle too.
And it feels so good to create something. And I think so much of society today, our kids have been in our basements on video games and haven't had the opportunity to find those innate gifts that they have. You guys give them an outlet for that. And we can use the math that we so rarely use anymore, right? And actually, you could even start this and build a little side career out of making things.
There's a lot of people that do show. I mean, we have people that build stuff and go to craft shows on the weekend, stuff like that.
Right?
A lot of our customer base does that.
It feels good to be productive. So I just want to thank Kreg for being such a stellar, amazing civic leader in the community and providing so many awesome careers for so many people in Central Iowa. How many employees do you have today?
We have about 185.
That's amazing.
Again, we're small private ESOP, right?
Yeah. But that's 185
Well, we want
employee
there to be more,
owners.
so we have ability to expand our footprint within the land we bought, and this helps us do that. So we want to have more people. We want to have bigger space. We want to have more products.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the success you've had, and I can't wait to see where this takes you guys because the world is your oyster.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
This is awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to Made in Iowa. Subscribe, like, and share wherever you listen. Catch episodes weekly from the Iowa Everywhere studio on the BPC streaming network.